Hi guys, this is Stephanie from Grow Green Homestead coming to you with the garden update for everything. I'm gonna see if I can get everything in this video in less than 20 minutes. So I'm gonna just kind of do a walkthrough as fast as I can through the entire place, and let's see how fast I can get this done. All right, so these are the watermelon that are in our pools. They're actually starting to run. They have flowers on it. They're actually running into the asparagus bed, which looks like a jungle. I probably should just weed eat all that down and just let it start over again, but I don't see any harm. My cat is probably in there just trying to stay cool, so that could be a place for her to retreat during all this heat. Anyway, so I topped the peppers and they are starting to get really bushy, and I didn't want these to get super tall because I can actually walk around and pick the peppers off of the plant. This is my first time topping my peppers before, so this is a really interesting experiment. So I have another row of peppers over there by the other watermelon along the fence line that I will not top. I will let them grow tall and skinny, and so I will see how I like the top versus just a regular growing style, and whatever I like the best, or if I still like both of them, then I'll do both next year. All right, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Now this is my pineapple plant, and I thought they were dead because they weren't doing anything for at least 3 or 4 weeks, about a month. And then now, as you can see, there is new growth coming out in the middle, and I just couldn't be happier. Like, they're all doing so good. This one is actually doing pretty good. So it's a lot of stuff going on over here. Of course, I got that grass I need to pull. It is just like so disrespectful. And I'm trying to keep it at bay, and it doesn't matter if I have this black paper down or not. Wherever there's a little teeny tiny hole, there will be grass that grows. Anyway, this is pretty interesting over here in this one. Some of them aren't doing like the hottest in here, but I only had like 3 or 4 plants in this container, but it is growing into the asparagus patch, which is totally fine. I'll eventually find the watermelon that grows in there, or I might just pull the vine back. The other peppers that I have growing here, like I said, I topped them all, at least most of them. I don't think that one right there is topped, but I might leave that one just to do a comparison. But the rest of them are topped, and I have a little corn there that I never did put in the ground, and of course grass is growing around it because it does what it wants. This last bed is not doing like the hottest, so I'm just gonna let it finish growing out its growing season, and hopefully it'll produce something. I see it starting to run, but who knows what it's gonna do. This bed right here, I had my Yukon potatoes in. I did a video on that, but I did not post it. It did not do as well as I thought it would. It probably didn't even get 2 pounds of potatoes. They were so tiny. So I'm letting them cure, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use those to do another round in the spring, or if we're probably just going to use those as little snack baby potatoes, which we probably will. And I'll try it again, and I know that I fertilized the soil properly, and I just don't know like what I did wrong on this. The soil was still moist decently, and it wasn't dried out, and it's just like maybe I just planted them too deep or something, and it was fluffy. So I'm not quite sure what the issue was with that, or maybe I just pulled them a little too early, maybe a couple weeks early. I don't know, but it's done now. I pulled the other potatoes over there by the tomatoes as well, and they were about the same size. So moving on. All right, we finally did get to cut our grass. It might not look like it, but in the general area we cut the grass, and I use my little lawnmower, my little push mower, to more around this. Of course, it grows back fast. But I have in this little corner in the cinder blocks growing one bell pepper plant and the zucchini squash plant growing, and I actually have, my husband actually harvested one off that plant, and there is another one that I need to harvest off of that one before I go in the house today. This flower bed area looks terrible. I have not been out here to pull any more weeds. The plants that I planted down here, it finally opened the flower, and that's what it looks like. There are pokeweed in here that I need to pick. That's oregano right here. That's going to seed, which I am going to let it do its thing. And these little blades of grass back here by my beautiful upright elephant ear are just out of control. They just grow everywhere in the yard. Anyway, let me stop rambling and let's move on with this tour. Look at my beautiful flowers. They're kind of struggling in this heat. But my blackberry area, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with that plant, but the leaves are dying back. These blueberries look pretty good. Let's see. That one looks like it's about ready. Let's see. I definitely need more blueberry bushes because that actually tastes really good. Definitely investing in about a handful more blueberry bushes. Those are delicious. Holy moly. Okay, so I'll come back and pick those. They're actually sweet. That was so good. Anyway, so I only have these 3 plants plus these 2 back here. Like I said, the other ones did not make it, and I was supposed to plant out the ones in the greenhouse, and I'm pretty sure they're dead by now because I'm terrible at keeping up with what's in the greenhouse once spring and summer hits. So here are my banana plants. They're starting to put on bigger leaves. I'm not in a hurry for these things to get super huge. It is in a mostly shaded area, and I know they need full sun, but this was like the only place left that actually got water whenever it rains. Everywhere else I planted my banana plants, they have died. So to say that they're still alive right now is a good sign. So this is where they're going to stay. All right, down here is the artichoke. They are slow growing, but they are coming through with their beautiful rigid leaves. I think that's the word. Some of them are bigger than others because they're at different growth periods. And it looks like that one is going to die, and maybe that one because it gets more sun than the rest of them. Anyway, over here are the blackberries that I need to clean out. It doesn't look like they're doing much this year besides growing, and this one is going through the fence, which is not where I need that to go. Okay, so there's not much else over here on this side besides this blackberry bush area. The birds have been eating the blackberries, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna have blackberries everywhere. It's a little bit of poison ivy in there too, but I have not harvested a berry off of this little section yet, which is totally fine because I had one off the other bush and that was good. And I also harvested one delicious raspberry. I think it was like the double gold, and I would definitely buy some more of those because it tastes just like candy, and I'm very impressed because I think that was the first time I've ever had a raspberry. I'm not a raspberry type person if I had to buy it in the store, but yeah, that was delicious. Our grapevine is doing pretty good. It's actually going down the lines like I want it to. and I've been trying to keep the main stems clear of any running vines and shoots that come off. So I think it looks pretty good overall. No grapes this year again, but it might be just due to the fact that they're in the shade. This whole thing is in the shade, and I don't know if that's the problem or not. Anyway, let's go around here to the okra. The elderberry is doing great. I need to get those berries before the birds finish eating them. Whew. So there's a cluster of elderberry, and then I have some more on the other side, which I'll show you. This is the okra area. They're all different ages, because most of them, well, half of them got either eaten by a squirrel or rabbit or chipmunk, and so I had to replant. And what I did replant was half Clemson spineless and Star of David okra. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all fills in. But they look good. They were watered early this morning, so we'll see how they do in the next couple weeks. It looks like they might be starting to get little flowers or little buds on there. This area I am like extremely and super proud of, because I didn't think that these were going to do anything, and so I planted something else in the place to take its place. So what's in this box, if you haven't looked at one of my other videos, is sweet potatoes. Now I planted way more than this, but this is the only things that survive. I did start my slips from scratch from a regular store-bought potato. So this is what I got, and this is just like a trial run anyway. If it wasn't going to be successful, I was going to put some Swiss chard in here, which I already started some seedlings, and I'm gonna grow them out to a decent size and hopefully use them in the fall, and hopefully they'll be big enough to survive the cold weather we have. All right, so I'll show you a picture of my elderberry bush. Those are starting to turn red. And then I have another bush over here. They are starting to turn some colors. And do you see those little bugs on there? Oh my gosh. I have a little aphid issue, and there go the mama right there. Nasty. Anyway, so I can come spray those with some dish soap and oil, and it should kill them off. Now, my two trellises where I have my beans and my cucumbers, they might be struggling a good bit because I probably overplanted the beans in these buckets. So far this is as far as they've gotten. I've planted half bush and half pole beans. Well, my husband replanted them, so I don't know what he planted in which bucket. I told him to do a mixture of both, but I mean, I harvested beans off here already. There's one, and it's a few more bush varieties that are on there that I need to come pick. There's a pole bean. That one looks nice, and it's actually making it all the way to the top of the trellis in the middle. And then I have some rattlesnake beans. I think these are rattlesnake, but it has that pretty purple color to it. But once you cook them, the purple will disappear. Okay, with the cucumbers, this is like super sad. Like I told you guys in a past video, I cannot keep things alive in a bucket to save my life. There is a teeny tiny little fat cucumber right there. Some little small one here. It has flowers on it, but it's just not doing good. And then I have another little cucumber right there. But everything else in there is just like struggling. And I don't know if I should start another round of cucumbers or if I should just call it a loss, because we don't really eat cucumbers that much, but it would have been nice to have it with salads and stuff. Anyway, so this was supposed to be my fall squash, like my spaghetti squash, my acorn squash, my butternut squash. I planted over 20 seeds and they probably are old. So this was just like a test run anyway for this area. And only like 1, 2, 3, 4 plants came up. So that's cool. If they're different varieties, I'm also cool with it. If it's the same, I'm cool with it. Anything beats nothing. I have not fertilized anything back here yet because I was actually waiting for it to get a little bit bigger so the fertilizer wouldn't stun it too much and kill it off. So I don't know what varieties those are because I just poured a handful of seeds in my hand and mixed them up and just planted them. All right, so let me give you the full pan of the 4 rows area. This is squash and zucchini, all tomatoes on the trellises. I had potatoes in this box right here, and then this was a patty pan squash. As you see, it is on its way out. Unfortunately, I did have I did get one off of here, and I'm probably about to take this before it goes bad. So I'll probably chop that up and put it in the freezer. It's about as big as my hand. It's supposed to get bigger than that, but I'm gonna get it before the squash bugs do. But yeah, that is the corn to the far right. All 4 rows of tomatoes. They are looking good. I want to walk down a row, but I don't have on any long sleeves. But first, let's walk through the zucchini. So I've been harvesting stuff. I have plenty of bags in the freezer of the squash and zucchini. It is so cluttered in there, and I'm trying to keep it upright so it can have some airflow, but I need to come and cut these leaves back because the airflow in there is probably not good. And I see that we're starting to get some infestation of squash bugs. And it looks like some of those are about to hatch, so I need to come back out here and handle that before all my squash is just a waste of time. So that's my squash. More down there. I have a big one down there. Another one right here. And I'm gonna try to save seeds from these since my other ones took so long to germinate. I'm probably gonna let, I want seeds from off of this bush because this has been the most productive bush that I've had, and I've picked off this several times already. So I want seeds from that one and maybe this bush and the first zucchini plant that I showed you. I'm gonna get seeds off of that because that one was the most productive as well. Oh my gosh, let me see. I hate walking in between these rows because I know spiders are in there and I'm not a fan. Anyway, but I'll do it for you guys just once. All right, so over in here we have tons of tomatoes. They are looking great. All right, we have more tomatoes down here. Tomatoes up to the top, and these are Oxheart tomatoes. Of course, there might be some other ones that are mixed in together, but look at this cluster of tomatoes. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just that little bunch, and not including the ones that are actually sitting on the black paper. So I'm just patiently waiting for them to get big. And hold on guys, it is hot out here. It is in the evening, but it is still hot. Phew. So we have more tomatoes, and I'm gonna go on the other side and show you. But there's a cluster of Amish paste. They look great. I think this is a, let's see. That looks like a mountain, not a Mountain Majesty, another Oxheart. I'm supposed to have a Mountain Majesty somewhere in here for a slicing tomato because I saved seeds from it. But it is so like busy in here, I am not sure like where anything is. Look at those tomatoes. I definitely am very, very proud, even though I have a tiny space. I'm trying to make the most of the space that I have. Of course, I'm already at my 20-minute mark, but let me show you guys the corn. And then we'll get over to the watermelon, and then I'm gonna call it a video. Okay, so if you guys look, of course my corn has tasseled and it has fertilized my corn. And I have some pretty good size corn on here. So I look forward and hope that the bugs and the ants don't eat all the corn off the plant. I have corn everywhere. And these were supposed to be 2 different varieties. Look at this one. This thing is humongous. All right, so almost every plant has some type of corn on there. I think this side over here is a little bit smaller. That variety, I forgot which one it was. Some are tasseling and they are new. They haven't been fertilized yet. I think when they get fertilized, their tassels, the little hairs turn brown. But I could be wrong. This is my first time growing corn. And I've been asking my dad, since he's been doing gardening longer than me, I have to ask him and see if that is the truth of what I just said about when it's pollinated, if the silks turn brown. Because if these haven't been pollinated yet, maybe the pollen hasn't started falling off of the tassels yet. But it looks good overall. I'm very proud. All right, let's go to the watermelon so I can get done with this in about 3 minutes. All right, so this is my entire watermelon area. Like I told you guys, the watermelon is starting to come through and they're starting to form. And we're trying to keep them watered as much as possible. We have chipmunks and squirrels. Thank goodness we don't have like gophers or anything. Not that I know of. It's just watermelon everywhere. A little tiny baby right there. And then, like I said, I planted at least 10 to 14 different varieties in here. And I didn't know how they were going to do. That's a big one. Let's see. Yep, that's a nice size one. There's another one right next to it. And then I have a smaller little one right there. I don't like sticking my hand in bushes where I can't see where my hand is going. But I do have Benny Kadoma watermelon, which are probably these right here, which don't get much bigger than that. The tassels are still, I mean the little curly cues are still green, so it's not ready yet. And I have melons that I have growing. Of course, they're different leaf designs, but I got to see if any are coming on that. There's another watermelon, not to mention what's on the back side of these containers. I wasn't sure how well they would do. There's a watermelon there. You probably can't see it. Where is it? The leaves are covering it up. Oh, there it is. So, the corn over here is not doing as fine as the one across the way, but that's cool. My pepper plants look great back there. You can't really see it because I can't get back there and I'm not stepping through this stuff. There is another little tiny watermelon right there. And let's see if there's any melons on these plants. I don't see any quite yet, but there are flowers on there coming through. So I look forward to that. And let's see. Let me see if I can get back here because I'm already at the 25-minute mark. Let me see if I can show you my peppers. All right, so peppers, they're actually starting to form peppers. And I'm getting watermelon going through the fence. So I need to work on that. So those are my peppers. They're all either red, yellow, or green peppers. So that's all I have for you guys. The strawberries are still producing. I haven't been enjoying them like I want to, but they are very sweet and I appreciate every berry that I get to eat. This is the back side. It is a very full area here. So that's the back side of the containers. Oh, look, there's a watermelon. Let's see if I can zoom out. It looks a little weird, but it's a watermelon. We will eat it, or the girls would eat it, one of the two. We got a little tiny watermelon on the vine that you can't see. I'm not gonna zoom in. But yeah, that is the gist of it. My flowers are doing beautiful. All colors. And like I said, I'm gonna try to harvest these flower seeds, especially that yellow one, because that was the only one that I got in there. So I'll make sure I make it my duty to go and harvest those seeds. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for you. So stay tuned for the next update. Hopefully we'll be harvesting some tomatoes and probably some more squash. And thanks for watching.